Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. Love is of God, and God is love. Galatians 5 and verse 13 to 15 says, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. If you bite and devour each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other." Can I just preach this once? Can we just sit down on the front pew of a little country church or a huge mega church? I really don't care. Today's sermon is about love. Turn to someone and tell them he's going to be preaching about love. Now turn to the person on the other side and tell them, listen well, because he's going to be preaching about love. That's right. What you just did is you signed up to listen and to obey what today's sermon is about. Sorry, you can't change your mind now. You might as well sit down and listen. It might just be what you need to hear. I was watching the news recently when there was an item about a young teenage boy who was killed by another teen. The mother of the boy who was killed was interviewed, and I was moved by her words. She said she knows she's supposed to hate the kid who killed her son, but instead she has chosen to forgive him. She said she wanted to reach out to the one who killed her son and to tell him and his family that she loved him too, and that the community had to come together and teach our kids to love and stop the spread of violence among each other. Oh, I was blown away at such selfless love. More recently, I saw another news item that I will not soon forget. One woman was a passenger in a car when she noticed that the car in front of her was slowly drifting across the busy intersection. She asked the driver to stop, and she jumped out into the busy intersection, frantically waving to other drivers to stop, and she ran to the drifting car while screaming for help and trying to stop the drifting car. Within a split second, several men ran to help her and managed to stop the drifting car. Someone was on their phone calling for help. A man used a dumbbell and smashed the back right window, and they opened the door. The woman who first raised the alarm was a co-worker of the driver of the drifting car. She had passed out. The paramedics arrived shortly after and got her to the hospital. Love your neighbor as yourself. Friends, there's a whole lot of hate in the world today. In communities, in schools, in neighborhoods, among nations, among politicians, everywhere you turn, there is hate of one kind or another. But I've stopped by here to tell you that that is not all true. In the face of wanton racism in this country, you see young people or even older people forging strong bonds across racial lines. Healthy friendships are thriving between people of different colors and race, and all of these are in outright defiance of racism and bigotry. There are young people from middle-class homes whose parents are professionals. They live comfortably, and these young people are getting their hands dirty by doing extraordinary work among the homeless, going out of their way to help less fortunate men and women, regardless of who they are or because they are moved with compassion to show love to someone down on their luck. Many people say that racism is strong in the church community, and the truth is there are many church folks who subtly practice racism. But I'm here to tell you that there are some other persons who are pushing back against that monstrosity. White kids and black kids are bonding together to make music, to serve in various church activities, to take the gospel to people outside of the church walls, and they do so with pure love for people they are reaching for Jesus. They have been taught that they should love their neighbors as themselves, and what you see is an encouraging sight of kids of different colors and race and ethnicity, kids who love Jesus and are not ashamed to bond together for the greater good of telling others that Jesus saves. You see it all over. Many of these stories don't make the news, but the message is going around, and social media is a great channel to spread the growing movement of love across great divides. The message is being sent out by TikTok videos, through music projects, through youth groups, through community efforts. I say that love is making a comeback. There is still a vast playing field of hate. We saw it this past weekend in Buffalo and in the California church. But the contrast, my friend, is catching on. People are not just paying lip service to stomping out racism, but they are practicing it right before our very eyes. I am not blinded to the fact that there is still hate in our society. I'm not ignorant of the numerous cases of racial inequality in terms of distribution of social benefits and possible police brutality and opportunities, but I am encouraged when you see black children and white children playing together in the park. I'm encouraged when I see young people from different races fall in love and get married. We don't have to label these situations, and we don't have to call each other ugly names. Rather, we celebrate those instances where the message of Jesus, the second commandment that we love our neighbors as ourselves, that all of this is unfolding right before our very eyes. To those of you who are still trapped in the colony of hate and bigotry, it must be getting terribly uncomfortably on that side of the fence. Some of us on the other side have discovered that there is a great triad: faith, hope, and love. And guess what? The greatest of these is love. God is love, and if we continue to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, we're able to teach the secret of love. It is beautifully contagious, and it is good for everyone, regardless of color, class, or creed. Join us in choosing to love your neighbors as yourself. Do you have any questions on this topic? Send me an email to friendofclyde@gmail.com.